activate a specific receptor. So activation of specific receptor by hormones or other signals. And then the next stage would be transduction. So in transduction, so what are being produced? Huh? So secondary messengers, so relays proteins and secondary messengers. Okay? And then finally, response. Okay? So response, so eventually of course a cellular response to the original signal is being triggered. Okay? So activation of cellular responses. Of course, this activation of cellular responses may lead to what? Changes in the gene expression. Okay? Activation of course, enzyme activity. So these are just some of the cellular responses. So changes in gene expression, activation of enzyme activity, changes in the cytoskeletal organization. What else? Change in the ion permeability. And of course, activation of DNA and RNA synthesis. So receptor binding involves specific interactions between ligands and their receptors. So remember, the body can receive a multitude of signals, right? So how do cells distinguish messengers? So how do the cells of the body distinguish messengers from the other signals received by the body? Yes, Mr. Kapul. Okay, so they have specific binding site, so they are highly specific. It lies on the ability, it lies on the highly specific way of the messenger molecule to bind to the receptor. The specific binding between what? So between the messenger molecule and the receptor. Okay? So messenger forms, of course, non-covalent chemical bonds with the receptor protein. So when you say non-covalent chemical bonds, these are what? Are these strong bonds or weak bonds? Non-covalent. Individual, they are generally considered as weak. Non-covalent. Other. Let's say, for example, your hydrogen bond. Okay. So individual non-covalent bonds are generally weak. But of course, several bonds must form to achieve strong binding. So therefore, they have to make numerous bonds with its ligand. So the receptor must have a binding site that fits the messenger closely. So binding site, or also referred to as binding packets. Okay, so binding packets that fits the messenger closely. Okay, so furthermore, within the ligand binding site on the receptor, appropriate amino acid chains must be positioned so that they can form chemical bonds with the messenger molecule. So the combination of the binding site, okay, which we have talked in the first statement, and of course the strategic positioning of the amino acids on the second statement, is actually enables the receptor, is what enables the receptor to distinguish its specific ligand. Okay? So it is dependent on what? The binding site or the binding pocket and the positioning of the amino acid. So therefore the cell can actually distinguish, okay, the signal. Okay? From the rest of the signals received by the body. And what are cognate receptors? We have defined that, right? So what are cognate receptors? So cognate receptors, these are receptors that are what? specific to a ligand. Okay, specific to a ligand. So when the receptor bond is ligand, so therefore we can say that of course the receptor is occupied. So if there is a bind, if the receptor binds with the ligand, so it's occupied. The receptor is occupied. Otherwise, it is what? It is empty or free. Okay, so free. So the ligand can be bound or free in the solution. Yes.
Meron sa receptors which are not specific.
So when you talk of course there are different receptors. There are, it depends actually on the ligand. If this is for example a particular ligand that is specific for this receptor, okay. You have receptors which are also not specific for the ligand, so therefore binding will not take place. Okay?
All receptors are
All receptors are cognate. What do you mean?
Ma'am, di ba?
So when you say cognate receptors, these are receptors which are specific to a ligand. So therefore, if there are some receptors which are not actually specific to a ligand, so therefore you cannot say that all receptors are cognate receptors. Diba? Okay. So the amount of receptor that is of course occupied by a ligand is proportional. Is proportional to the concentration of the free ligand in the solution. Okay? So therefore, if there is an increase in ligand concentration, there is also increase in the number of receptors. Okay? So increase in ligand concentration will result in increased number of receptors until most of these receptors are occupied. And this is what you call as saturation. Okay? Do you follow? So you know what saturation is? So almost all the receptors are what? Occupied by the ligands. Okay. So receptor affinity. So what is receptor affinity? So the relationship between the concentration of the ligand and the number of receptors occupied can be described qualitatively in terms of receptor affinity. So when do we say that a receptor has high affinity for its ligand? And when do we say that a receptor has low affinity for its ligand? So let's start with the first question. Receptor has high affinity for its ligand. Yes.
When the binding site and the ligand structure is complementary.
Complementary. So it has something to do with concentration. Yes.
Saturated means that there's more of
So if it's saturated, then there is more affinity. So we can say that receptors that have high affinity to ligands when almost all of the receptors are occupied at low concentration of free ligand. So low concentration of free ligand. And when you say receptor has low affinity for its ligand, when it takes a relatively high concentration of ligand for most receptors to be occupied. You follow? Okay, so we can say that receptors have high affinity for ligands when almost all of the receptors, all all the receptors are occupied at low concentration of free ligand. So you only need low concentration for ligand receptor binding to take place. So that is high affinity to the ligand. And when you say the receptor has low affinity for its ligand, when it takes a relatively high concentration of ligand for most receptors to be occupied. Okay? So high concentration of ligand for most receptors to be occupied. And receptor affinity can be described quantitatively in terms of dissociation constant, or Kd. So this is the concentration of free ligand needed to produce a state in which half the receptors are occupied. So the values for Kd roughly is from 10 to the negative 7 to 10 to the negative 10 molar. Okay? 10 to the negative 7 to 10 to the negative 10 molar. So the Kd values must be what? In the range. Okay? Must be in the range of Kd value of the receptor in order for the ligand to affect the target tissue. So it must be within 10 to the negative 7 and 10 to the negative 10. In other books, it is 10 to the negative 4 and 10 to the negative 9. But we will stick with 10 to the negative 7 to 10 to the negative 10. You follow? Okay. So it must be within the range for the ligand to affect the target tissue. So what is actually the importance of this value? Of these values? The dissociation constant values. So what is the importance of this dissociation constant? So the values for this dissociation constant, it will actually tell you at what concentration a particular ligand will what? Will be effective in producing a cellular response. Diba? Cells communicate, of course, what is the end? What is the end product? Cellular response. Okay? So these Kd values are important because it will tell you at what concentration the ligand will actually be effective in producing a chemical response or cellular response. So therefore, receptors with high affinity have low or high Kd.
High.
Low or high Kd. So very small Kd. Dissociation. Yes.
Pag high affinity, small a, low a.
Kapag so high affinity receptors with high affinity for your ligands have very small K or low dissociation. Diba sabi natin kanina? So receptor has high affinity, it only takes low concentration for the receptors to be occupied by the ligand. So therefore, it follows that the dissociation constant is also be low for the receptors to be considered to be highly affinity, for the receptors to have high affinity for their corresponding ligand. Okay. So receptor downregulation. So all the receptors have characteristic affinity for their ligands. So cells are geared to sense changes. Okay? So changes in ligand concentration rather than fixed ligand concentration. Okay? So changes, when you say changes, so these are what? So this is something to do with receptor downregulation. So what is this receptor downregulation? So first, when a ligand is present and receptors are occupied for long periods of time, so what will happen to the cell? So the cell will adapt, right? So the cell adapts so that it no longer responds to the ligand. You follow? So therefore, in order to further stimulate the cells, what are you going to do with the ligand concentration? Are you supposed to increase or decrease the ligand
Reduce.
concentration?
Decrease. Increase.
increase the ligand concentration. Hindi na lang nag-a-adapt eh. So the ligand and the receptor. So there is the ligand binding with the receptor exists for some time. So matagal. Okay? So therefore, the cell adapts. So therefore, it can no longer what? Respond. Right? So in order for it to stimulate, of course, cellular response, you have now to increase what? The ligand concentration. Okay? So such changes are of course known as receptor down regulation. And of course, how do the cells adapt to such signals? So cells can change the density of the receptors on their surfaces in response to signal. So this is basically possible through the removal of receptors. So removal of receptors from the cell surface through what process? Receptor-mediated endocytosis. Okay? So the first way on which cells adapt to such signals, okay? So cells can change the density of the receptors on the surfaces in response to signal. So removal of receptors from the cell surface, okay, through receptor-mediated endocytosis. So what do you mean by receptor-mediated endocytosis? So endocytosis. So inside. So therefore, so small portions of the plasma membrane invaginate and are then internalized. Diba? So if there is internalization of some portions of the plasma membrane, remember, most of the cell surface receptors are found most of the receptors are found on the cell surface, right? So therefore, what will happen? So there will be reduced number of receptors. Okay, reduced number of receptors on the cell, which of course, if there is reduced number of receptors on the cell, what will happen to cellular response? Increase or decrease? Increase or decrease? Increase or decrease? Decrease. Diba? So diminished cellular response to a ligand. And then the second way is through desensitization. So what is this desensitization? So cells can adapt to signals by desensitization, which involves alterations of the receptor that lower its affinity for ligands and render it unable to initiate changes in cellular function. So through desensitization, desensitization actually provides a way for cells to adapt to permanent differences. So permanent differences in the levels of messenger. Okay? So levels of messenger concentration. Okay? Of course, desensitization usually occurs by the addition of what? Involves the addition of phosphate or phosphorylation. Okay? The phosphorylation is actually a process of adding phosphate. Okay? And this is one common way how desensitization occurs. And of course, when you say desensitization, this can actually lead to tolerance. Okay? So tolerance. What do you mean when you say tolerance? No response. So this is, let's say for example, you were taking a drug for quite some time. So what will happen?
Adapted.
So after a while,
You will adapt used to that.
okay, you'll get used to it, right? Your body will get used to it. So wala nang effect. So therefore, when you say tolerance, it is a phenomenon that results in the loss of medicinal effectiveness. Loss of medicinal effectiveness of some medicines that are usually over-prescribed. Okay? Like by prescription, of course, we do not usually being prescribed by a doctor. Sometimes we are doctors ourselves, di ba? Pag may masakit ang ulo mo, okay, inom ako ganito. Okay? because are doctors by nature. Okay? Antibiotics, di ba? So antibiotics are usually, they are prescribed medicines. Ay, pero dito, over the counter, mamibili nyo yung antibiotics, di ba? Tapos, good for 7 days, ang gagawin, ay wala na akong sakit, 2 araw na lang. Okay? Dahil mas mahal. Good thing we have generic. Okay? Drugs and other chemicals that bind the receptor can be used to stimulate the receptors artificially or inhibit them. You were able to define agonist from antagonist, right? So, how will you differentiate agonist from antagonist? So, when you say agonist, these are actually drugs that activate the receptor to which they bind. So, drugs that activate the receptor to which they bind. So, therefore, antagonist, instead of activating, deactivating or inhibiting. Okay, inhibiting the receptor by preventing the naturally occurring messenger from binding and activating the receptor. Okay? So, inhibiting the receptor, that's it. Agonist, activating the receptor. So, we're almost done. So, the binding of a ligand either induces a change in the receptor conformation or causes the receptors to cluster together. So, once one of the changes, okay, so induces a change. So, once one of these changes take place, the receptor initiates a pre-programmed sequence. So, pre-programmed. So, pre-programmed sequence of events inside the cell. So, what do you mean by pre-programmed? So, pre-programmed is so, by pre-program, we mean before the program.
Preliminary.
Cells have greater repertoire. Okay, so greater repertoire of the functions that are in use at any particular time. Okay?
Joyo.
Repertoire.
R-E or
Oil. Pronounce na lang.
next na po topic.
Okay. And for some of these processes may be in use or not. Okay? Okay. So cells have greater repertoire function. So repertoire functions that are in use at any particular time. So what do you mean by signal integration? So cells must integrate signals to produce coordinated responses to their environment. So remember we made mention a while ago that the cell of the human body can be exposed to a multitude of signals at any given moment, right? So how do the cells respond to this complexity? So they integrate, so the cells integrate signals. Remember, di ba, you have multitude of signals. So the body, the cells in the body they receive multitude of signals. So how do they respond to such complexity? So by integrating signals to produce coordinated responses to their environment. Okay? So the pathways, actually the different pathways can actually interact with one another. So the pathways, the signaling pathways can actually operate at any given moment in the cell. And these pathways may interact. So there is interaction with one another in complex ways. Okay? Because some components of the pathway, of one pathway can actually influence what? The component of the other pathway. Let's say, for example, one signal. Okay, one signal can actually activate multiple signaling pathways or multiple signal transduction pathways. Let's say, for example, you have this is the receptor. Okay, you have the cytosol. Okay, receptor, and then you have the ligand, right? Okay, so what will happen? So one signal can actually what? Give rise to multiple signal transduction pathways. Okay, so you have the target cell, another target cell, so this will result to pathway number 1 and pathway number 2. Okay, so pathway number 1 and pathway number 2. Or you can have several signals. So several signals that can what? That can activate the same pathway. So say for example, you have the receptor, and then the ligand, another receptor, another ligand.
Isa lang yung ano.
Okay, so they have what? So they have the target cell resulting to one pathway. Okay, so one signaling pathway. Okay, ano naman yung pathway? So there is interaction in different paths. There is interaction between the components. Okay, so one component of one pathway can actually affect the ability of another pathway to transmit signals. So if you have a receptor, okay, a ligand, okay, a receptor, a ligand, okay, so what will happen? Okay, so the interaction between the components of two different pathways. So you have the one component, okay, and then you have the target cell. Okay, so can result to pathway number 1 or pathway number 2. Or this component will actually interact with the component of pathway number 1 can actually interact with the component of the pathway number 2. Or one component of pathway number 2 will actually interact with component of pathway number 1. Okay, so one component of a pathway can actually regulate the component of another pathway. So this is actually what is referred to as signaling crosstalk. Did you define that? So signaling crosstalk. Okay? So interaction between the components of two different pathways. That's signaling crosstalk. So different signals can activate different pathways, but one component can actually regulate the component of another pathway. Yes.
How is it possible that one component will interact
With?
with the book?
Of course, that is the component to interact with two components. The process usually occurs what? Simultaneously, so step by step. So there is a cascade. Okay, let's say for example, it actually regulate the component, so the pathway of one component, and then what will happen once that component has been affected? So that component will actually lead to the production of another molecule. Okay? Okay. of hundreds of millions of glucose from molecules of glycogen. Okay? So this is a pathway. Okay? So how do liver cells actually respond to the hormone? How do liver cells respond to epinephrine? So it breaks what? It actually breaks, so breaks down glycogen to produce or to liberate what? To produce what? Glucose 1-phosphate. Remember, if you're using the diagram, the end product is glucose 1-phosphate. Okay? So take a look at the diagram. What is the epinephrine receptor?
G protein.
Okay, so G protein link receptor. That's correct. And what does the G protein link receptor activate?
The G protein.
Adenine
Adenylyl
cyclase.
Okay? And adenylyl cyclase will actually catalyze the formation of
ATP.
second messenger, which is in the
Cyclic
form of
AMP.
cyclic AMP. And then cyclic AMP will actually what?
Activate the protein
Activate
kinase. Protein kinase.
Protein kinase. Okay? And then ultimately the enzyme glycogen phosphorylase is activated, okay, liberating glucose 1-phosphate. Okay, so therefore, the end would be what? Okay, so breakdown of glycogen. Okay, so the breakdown of glycogen. So, what about B? That's A. And what about B? What are these molecules? So, number of molecules. So, these are the approximate number of molecules. Okay? So, one epinephrine can actually trigger the production of hundreds of millions of glucose 1-phosphate. So, the number of molecules is shown on the first, so the right side of the table. Number of molecules activated for every acid. Okay? So in the end, of course, in the end, you do not have only one glucose. You have hundreds and millions. So the ones that have state.
So yung first part ng yung reception, wala nang get ng one molecule of glucose na
So the number of molecules that are activated. Okay?
Protein receptor.
And then, so this is actually a summary of the cell signaling system. So release of messenger molecules to the ligand. For the ligand, we may mention that ligand acts as the primary messenger, and then it binds the receptor, and then signals are transmitted. Okay, transmission signals will give by enzyme, and then generation of second messenger. So this is when signal transduction starts taking place, diba? So signal transduction takes place via the second messenger. Okay? And then activation of other signaling protein, and then activation of target protein, which can of course elicit cellular response. And of course, we made mention of the different cellular response, right? A while ago. The activation of the enzymes, different enzymes, synthesis, okay, expression of control of gene expression, and then of course, the cellular response must also be what? So the signaling process is supposed to be terminated. And this is made possible by the following. So degradation of the signals, internalization of receptors, and then of course separation of the ligand receptor within the cell. Okay? So Monday,